November has rolled around again and gone, which means it is time to send my friends some themed birthday letters. Can't say much appeals to me about being a vampire besides maybe the clothing, and I'm also basically nocturnal already.
I love the night. That's the only time I feel really alive.
If I was a vampire, I would obviously spend a great deal of time writing my friends ornate letters. I almost always start my letters by pressing some flowers because they take about 2 weeks to dry out. Since we're doing vampire letters, our color scheme is going to be red, white, and black. So I did look for some red flowers and things that would hopefully go along with the letters really well. Then we are starting, of course, with our stickers. If you have seen any of the past letter videos that I've done, this will look very familiar to you. I swear you can get 1 pack of these labels and you can just make stickers for years. This time I went for a black and white kind of illustrated hatched style. I don't know exactly how I decided what stickers to draw for this. They all just kind of seem to fit into the theme somehow. So, I did actually research a little bit about myths and folklore surrounding vampires before I made this.
I have devoted my lifetime to the study of many strange themes.
Wild Rose came up, so I decided to do that as one of the stickers. Strangely, I felt like the pocket watch was actually one of the hardest ones to draw because I just cannot draw a clean circle to save my life. Maybe that's my vampire backstory. I have gotten so many comments that are like, I wish I had a friend like you, and things along those lines, and I am so appreciative of you saying that, but I do want to be the first to admit that I am absolutely not the perfect friend. I really love taking time and making things for people to show that I love them, but I can easily take 7 months to reply to someone's message, which I'm sure is incredibly irritating. That is a big fault of mine. I'm sure some of you have noticed because I have replied to comments months later. This is a little bit of a tangent, but with the advent of digital technology, at the beginning it was really easy for me to respond to messages online and things like that very quickly. As time goes on, I feel like it just constantly drains me more and more quickly. And honestly, I feel like I'm weirdly more suited to doing things like letter writing because you can take time to think about your response and really write out all of your thoughts. I don't know if anyone out there can relate to that. Let me know. After I had drawn those, I cut them out. I really like leaving a little white border around the edge. Now the set of stickers that I'm drawing right now is something that I'm going to include for my friends to use, but I usually draw some extra little ones as well for me to use throughout the letter too. Then I started working on the envelopes, which is strangely one of my favorite parts often. My dream for this was to have ones with red foil on the inside, but it just seemed kind of like a waste to buy an entire pack of them just for 2 letters. So I'm using an existing envelope that I like the size of as a guide for me making my own. So I'm measuring everything out on cardstock. I'm using cardstock because it's a little bit thicker and I know I wanted to paint the inside of it. Envelopes are actually super easy to make. It's basically 3 rectangles of varying sizes on top of each other. Also has some small flaps on the side that can be folded in and glued to the front to create the envelope. I really wanted that red interior with the white outside, so I'm painting the inside red. It's not quite foil, but it'll do the job. Then to sort of decorate the outside, I wanted to create some blood splatter. So I did that by watering down some red acrylic paint and splattering it by hitting the paintbrush. I'm sure this is obvious, but it will go everywhere. Maybe set up some newspaper. I'm using a ruler to crease the line straight and then going over it with my nail to make sure it's crisp. If I had a bone folder, that would have been very fitting for this video, but alas, I do not. Then I started drawing a little design on the back flap, starting with a border and then doing a bat in the same kind of illustrative style that I did the stickers in, essentially just focusing on line work and using hatching to create shadows. I continued the blood splatter on the outside. After that, I glued the flaps and closed the envelope off. And then to finish off the front, I'm using pieces of this red envelope that I had to glue on as a place to write the addresses. Then it was time to write our letters. My dear friend, although with our nature it may seem like rather the smallest drop in the ocean, another year comes to pass, and with it I celebrate another collection of days spent with you. A happy day of awakening to you, my good friend. I can scarcely believe it has been almost 34 years since we met in the flesh. It is at these times that I reflect on the memoirs of our fledgling days, when we were new to this second life and rife with confusion and curiosity, though admittedly, those feelings remain even now years on. Included is a photo of us from this time. As much as those days fill me with a great deal of remorse, they too are full of some of my warmest remembrances. Along with that, I have posted you a few small curios that I hope may fill you with the same joy that they ignited in my own heart, still as it may be. The included gifts of ephemera are but the smallest token of every gratitude in me for having you alongside me in this life. Much as we draw power from the moon, I have crafted a charm to hopefully bring you healing and protection. As our fledgling group each carries one, perhaps we may share the strength of one another at times when we are lacking our own. Although maybe a tired phrase by now, many apologies for my constant lack of timeliness. As mentioned previously, the hourglass seems only to turn more and more quickly, without regard to those bound to it. I will write again very soon for the upcoming end of year. That is a promise. May moonlight shine upon you always, and the end of year chill invigorate your soul. Yours sincerely, Countess Devon. I don't know how to give much advice on writing in a theme besides, as I always say, you just layer what you want to say under metaphors of whatever theme you're going with. I'm gonna seal the letter directly with a wax seal. Of course, we're making it from hot glue again, so it's not actually wax. But like the traditional way that they used to send letters, they would just fold up the letter and then seal it with the wax seal and send it off like that. So that's what we're doing for this one. I did this in my Victorian letters video where I made this Order of the White Lotus stamp. We're using the same process and the same stamp. So I put the stamp onto an ice pack and I am using some of the label paper backing to put the hot glue on and press the stamp into. I thought I would try it on wax paper this time as well. Do not recommend. I did get it off in the end and used it, but it works way better on the sticker paper. I of course went in and painted that red to go with the theme, and then went in with a darker red in the lowest sections and created some contrast. While doing research on folklore about vampires in different cultures, I came across something that said they draw power and recharge strength from the moon. If you've been here for a little while, you may know that I do as well, specifically moons with faces on them. I decided to make moon charms. I'm starting with some popsicle stick wood as a base to hopefully make it sturdier and safe in the mail, because honestly, who knows what they're gonna do with it. This obviously went really well. Great. Yeah, I did have to glue a couple of them back together, but once those were cut, I covered them in Sculpey and started sculpting on the details of a face. I'm making these very similarly to the piece on the top of my jewelry box, so you could say that I do have previous experience, but is that going to help me? Probably not. So I started creating some craters, blending some circles of clay in to create raised ones, and then also creating some indentations as well with a yarn needle. I have this old button that I've been taking rhinestones out of, so I'm using them for the eyes in this, pressing it into the clay and then adding some eyelids over it and blending all of that in to the rest, kind of building up the cheek area. And then I am using some silver jewelry wire to make an eye pin. I have a circle on the end and twisting the rest of the wire together. Pressed that down into the moon. And finally, I'm going over everything with isopropyl alcohol at the end to kind of melt everything together and get rid of all of my fingerprints. I made 3 because the idea is that we kind of all carry one and they're connected, basically like vampire friendship bracelets or something. So I baked those and then painted them silver and then started shadowing the craters and other low points and also going over highlights with some brighter white. Once all of the painting was done, I did a couple layers of gloss varnish on top to seal and protect everything. And then I attached a jump ring to the top eye pin. It's really up to them what they want to do with theirs, but for now I attached a stretchy cord to it so that they can maybe hang it somewhere if they want to, I don't know. I had a couple of tiny envelopes that I am reusing. I'm gonna put my little curios in there. So I painted them red to go with the theme and then painted designs on the front in black. I did some trees and bats on this one. I got sent some junk mail with these roses on them. I really wanted to include some roses in this, so I just decided to use those. I painted the pink part red to match the theme, and those will get attached onto the back of those envelopes to seal them off. One is not enough moons for me. I decided to make some kind of tarot card things. I painted the two of them concurrently because I thought it would be the easiest to do it that way. And I swear I felt like I was halfway to being the 3D concept artist for The Hobbit.
Doesn't make sense when you try and explain it like that.
I'm doing a textured black background to sort of go along with the illustrative style of everything else, and then added a little moon title to the bottom. On the back, I am here again writing poetry, unsolicited, in silver tendrils of cool night light. Your power grows within. It shines and glistens bold and bright and glows upon your skin. Side by side we walk the roads of life together slow, and lend each other strength and nerve when feeling lost and low. Though time may slip from fingers' grasp and vanish for your blink, each year that nears and comes to pass will leave its mark in ink. And though each moment seems to go quickly as it came, the changes brought in passing days lie in the mirror's frame. And looking back at yesteryear, you're never once the same. May next year's moon glow brighter still, and with it, strength of heart and will. I don't enjoy blood, but I do enjoy iced tea, so.
It's delicious.
Of course, we're sending over the finest O that I could find. I wanted to get rooibos tea because it is very red, but the raspberry tea is also relatively red, so we have to make a little packet for it. I'm using some clear packaging to make a sort of envelope. I do, of course, thoroughly wash all of the packaging so everything's all clean. I painted on a square of Mod Podge colored with some red watercolor, and then making some front stickers for Undead's finest O. Put the instructions on that, of course, and sealed it off with a sticker. I decided that I was going to make an old photo of us as fledglings. There are very few photos of the three of us together, so I have turned our high school graduation photos into fledgling photos. I have blurred my friends' faces just in case they do not wish to be on the internet. Kind of just went in and took out the graduation stuff. Tried to make it into more of a vampire looking outfit, adding some fangs and stuff like that, and then making it look old as well. Like most prints, they ended up much darker than you would expect. But I'm not about to reprint them. I also wrote a little fake caption on the back. It adds to the lore that I am creating here. And so then our letters were complete. that friends will make sure that the letters reach them safely.
Excellent, Mr. Enfield. Excellent.
The trend of being incredibly seasonal at exactly the right time on this channel. Here are some of the amazing Halloween projects from our Patreon challenge. As always, if anyone makes a themed letter, I would absolutely love to see it. This is the third themed letter video that I've done so far, I believe. I have also done Victorian letters and pirate letters, so if you're interested, I will link those. This is always one of my favorite projects to do during the year because I get to spend a little bit of time telling my friends how much I love them in costume, which is just my favorite thing. I already appreciate everyone watching so much, and that's already more than I could ever ask for, but to everyone that has also supported on Patreon and Ko-fi, I wanted to say thank you so much. Over on Patreon, I will show you the process of setting up this vampire manor, which was so much fun.